Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Tidywittoya. This is your girl Toya, and I am here today to film the third video of the hashtag ODBJ, our different budgeting journeys. And this video is going to talk about my method, how I budget my money. So if this is something that you want to see, make sure that you keep watching.
Left it to the bank like, ha 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 ha. To the bank like, ha 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 ha. I got anything.
Hey y'all, so this is the method of how I budget my money video. This series was started by Budgeting April, and as mentioned before, there are two groups. One group goes Tuesday, that is my group, and the other group goes on Wednesdays, and Budgeting April posts her videos on Mondays. So make sure you go to my description box to see all of the other beautiful folks on YouTube that have videos relating to this week, our method, but then you can also go back and binge watch and see their hows and their whys. So this is my method on how I budget my money. So before I decided to budget, I pretty much decided that I was going to budget my money. So what I did was I went back to my bank statements and I looked at how I spent my money for a couple of months leading up to figuring out how I was going to budget my money. And so once I did that, that is when I came up with a monthly budget. And so this is what this document is. And so pretty much every month when I get paid, I start out the month by budgeting my money. So I put the month, I put how much income I'm getting. I list out all of my bills that I have to take care of. And then the rest of the money, typically for the most part, comes out of my account and I divvy up into other things that I need to either purchase for the week or purchase, maybe next month, even next year. So after I figure out how much money I'm spending in bills, then I come down here and I go through my cash envelopes. Now, my cash envelopes are envelopes that I keep on my person day to day that I spend cash on pretty much at the drop of a hat. So for me, it's groceries, the twins, house related stuff, eating out, coffee, those kinds of things. And so looking at my budget from the previous months, I figured out, okay, well, this is how much I spend in a typical month on these things that, I spend cash on, right? Or that I would like to have cash on my person to actually purchase those things. And so once I figured out what was going to be in each one of my cash envelopes, then the remaining money would be divvied up in between my debt, any savings, and then sinking funds. So sinking funds are basically funds that I'm not going to immediately spend, right? I don't need this money on my person on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it's for the twins' birthday that's coming up in April. Maybe it's for Mother's Day or Father's Day. There are a lot of folks that have, different sinking funds for holidays that are coming up and things like that. And so the sinking funds really is a way for me to save money so that when that event or that activity comes up, I can easily go to this sinking fund and say, oh my goodness, I've already fully funded this, so I'm going to take the money from here. Savings and debt, pretty much is self-explanatory. A lot of my debt actually comes out as bills because it's auto drafted anyway, but any sort of extra debt payments, and then savings. So for me, it's emergency savings. It's my twins 529s at the moment. And then once I divvy all this money up, I try to make sure that I have $0 left, right? Because if I have money left over in my account, then I am going to spend it. I don't know on what, honestly, definitely in the past, when my paycheck is gone, I don't know what I've spent it on, right? And so this is why I had to do this budget for myself. And so I make sure that the balance is zero. Now, sometimes I may leave a little buffer in my account, right, for things that I don't account for that come out. But really, for me, when doing this monthly budget, I actually make sure I take a look at, my previous bank statement to see what were all the automatic things that came out. What are the bills that I've gotten for this upcoming month? What are those totals going to be? Like, I actually sit down and look at all of it so that there won't be any surprises. So I do this at the beginning of the month. And then once I figure out which envelopes are going to get real cash, I come over here to this cash stuffing tracker and I put down, the sinking funds that are getting stuff that's getting real cash, and then cash envelopes that are getting stuff with real cash. And then I divvy out my denominations that I want to get from the bank. So, whether it's hundreds, 50s, 20s, 10s, 5s, 1s, like I divvy out all of my denominations, and I have a slip that I take to the bank with me to give the teller so that the teller knows what denominations I want, and then how much I want total out of the bank. And let me tell y'all, when I give the bank teller those slips, they're like, oh my goodness, I wish we can make these for everybody. Like, it really helps them, but it also helps me to figure out what my denominations are, so that I can properly divvy out all the money that I'm taking out of the bank. And then I come on to YouTube after that, pretty much, and I divvy out the money, right? So I have a high priority sinking fund binder. I have a low. I have a mid priority sinking fund binder. I have a low priority sinking fund binder. And the way I divide these binders up, y'all, really, because sometimes I do switch up, right? So like for a high priority, let's see here. Like, cleaning supplies may be a high priority right now, right? But when I'm fully stocked, I may take this one out and put it in a different binder because it's fully stocked. It's not a high priority. So I kind of mix and match things that I see as high priority now, but maybe a lower priority, a month from now. So I get the money back and I come and I stuff these envelopes. Now this is a weekly budget planner. So this planner is typically for when I get money from my side hustle, or my husband gives me money for different bills that we have coming out. And so you'll see me fill this tracker out just so that I stay, on task throughout the month. And then as I spend money, I make sure to track it on this expense tracker. Now, I also track them in my bullet journal, but my bullet journal is always with me. And so I can easily put that, put the amounts and the places that I've shopped at for that given week there. And then I can come to this expense tracker, either at the end of the month, or something like that. So that I'm not always coming back and saying, okay, let me go put this on my expense tracker. And then at the end of the month, I go through and I look at all of my goals for all of my different categories that I have. And then I look at what I had at the beginning of the month for that given category, what I had at the end of the month for that category, and what the difference is. So how much I have actually saved. So I can see each month what I save. That kind of helps me and keeps me motivated to keep saving month after month. So for let me see here. So, I'll go through my, high priority sinking funds, just quickly. So these are in alphabetical order because I'm just that kind of person. But so I have buffer, I have car, which is anything related to my car, whether it is tags, whether it's the taxes at the end of the year, whether it's repairs, whether it's oil change, like everything related to the car is in this envelope. A cleaning supply restock, donations, and this is for my Alzheimer's walk that I'm taking donations for. But and I'm going through this really quickly. Emergency fund, family celebrations, house, Jamila and Sharif's 529, my stockpile, travel. It could be actual cash or it could be prop money. So like in this donations, this is for my Alzheimer's walk. So this actually has prop money in it. And typically how I try to decipher, although the money feels a whole lot different than real money anyway, I try to put a sticker or something on there to signify that that is prop money. But this is prop money because people actually donate this right into my fundraising on my fundraising page, and so I don't actually see the cash goes to the Alzheimer's Association. So I just put the prop money in there so I know how much it is. Now the emergency fund, I have it all actually in my bank account now, and this kind of helps me to not want to dip into it unless it's a real emergency. And so what I'm actually doing from now on, whenever I put money towards the emergency fund, I don't actually take it out. I actually transfer it from my bank account to my Ally bank account. And then like Jamila and Sharif's 529s are also prop money because I transfer that to their 529 accounts. And so most of my other folders have real money just because I have not gotten to the point where I have a ton of money in my binders, and so I'm okay with that. But I also have a safe to lock up these binders just in case. Now the other piece of my budget and what I do to save money is, one, at the end of the month, typically for me, sometimes my husband will put money towards this change jar. And this change jar, when you put the money in, it actually counts it for you. And my bank actually has a change counter, and so I don't have to necessarily roll the coins or anything like that. But the money that was in here that we saved up that was close to $100, we actually put that into our twins 529s, right? So we save change as often as we can. Typically mine is at the end of the month, and my husband is, whenever he gets a ton of change, he will give me that. And then the other piece is savings challenges. Now, sometimes I think with budgeting, it can get boring, at least for me. I'll say that at least for me. I have a degree in education, right? I have a master's degree. I have a bachelor's degree. Like, it's sometimes, I don't feel like I make enough money, right? And so I really, want to stuff these binders and these envelopes so much faster than what I am, but it's just not possible with my income right now, right? And so these savings challenges really help me to stay focused, but to also give me something fun to do while I'm saving money. And so if you look at my last video, I went through all the savings challenges that I have in this envelope or in this binder. And this is just easy ways for me to save money while also making it kind of like a game. I only do maybe 2 to 3 at a time just because of my budget, but you can do however many savings challenges that you want to help you save money. So like one of the challenges that I have in here is this $121 savings challenge, right? There is no time frame on here, and all the denominations are 5 and under. Like, this is perfect for my budget because usually my savings challenges, I'm only stuffing maybe $10 at a time, depending on how much money I have. And if I don't make any side hustle money, then I may not have a whole lot to stuff into my savings challenges. So it just kind of depends on your budget what kind of savings challenges that you get, like this Hispanic Heritage Month savings challenge, right? Each letter is worth $1. So this savings challenge will give you $21 at the end. Like, this is something great that I can do, that I can use with my low income budget. That is still a fun way to save money. But then also, you know, I'm staying encouraged, right? I'm not discouraged by the fact that I can only put $1 in here, maybe. You know, sometimes those destitute stuffings, as I call it, are real morale boosters for me, because it's like, even though I didn't have a lot to stuff, at least I had something to stuff. And so this is what I use savings. And so at the end of a savings challenge, I will take the money out and I'll divvy it up into other categories to boost, you know, that category. And sometimes you want to do those savings challenges, especially for those long-term goals that you have that, you know, maybe it's not immediate, but you still want to save money for it. And so that's a great way to do that, is through savings challenges. The other piece of, you know, how I budget and how I budget for my family is really just being in communication with my spouse about what we're saving for, what our goals are, just to keep him in the loop. And then also, you know, if he does not cash stuff, he prefers keeping it in his account. That is not my style, because that is how I spend the most money. But he still contributes to our savings challenges and our cash envelopes and stuff like that. And so that's why I tend to come back on and do videos about my weekly budget, because, you know, throughout the week he will, you know, give cash for different things that we have going on. So that's really the quick and easy about how I budget. Like I said, I started doing this in August, and then I started filming in September. And so I'm still fairly new. So I'm still changing things up as I go. And that is perfectly okay. If you need to change things up with your method as you go along, you just have to do what works for you and what works for your budget and your family. So I definitely hope that this was beneficial for someone. Please let me know in the comments, you know, what is your method for budgeting and saving money? And, you know, share any tips or tricks that you've learned along the way that may help someone like me who is fairly new to the game, and, you know, just trying to soak everything in and learn more. So I hope you all like this video here today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit me up in the comments. Let me know that you are here watching. Make sure you watch the next budgeter's video, and I will link the screen name, her YouTube name. Sorry, I will link the YouTube name on the screen because it is escaping me right now. But make sure you check that channel out next. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.